in particular,
Yeah, I got to do roll call. So, Commissioner Myers is excused. Danielle McGill. Ben Brown is retired, so that's, I'm gonna call his name out. Cara and Brett, let's get you here. Artie Pryor. Greg Purcell. Here. Chris Lever. Here. Maya Watson.
Here.
Christina Melling.
Here.
Beth Passy.
Here.
Maha Sad, or Maha Said, excuse me. Deborah LaQuinta. Jennifer Waskovich.
Here.
Alexia Wiggins. Councilman Schisler. Here. Robert Williams. John Vargas. Cassandra Blaylock.
Here.
Yeah, we do have one.
Excuse me, sir, did you say Robert Williams?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Is there anybody here for any public comment? Is anybody here for that? Okay, we'll move on to the next item is our approval of the minutes of December 12th, 2025. Everybody's had an opportunity to read those minutes. If they're acceptable, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve that passage.
We have a motion, there a second.
Second, Christina Melling.
Okay, motion is second, any discussion? All in favor, say, give us saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next on our item is action items. We have the item A, it's 5A is the election of officers and candidates, review the declaration of vacancy. Work out.
I want to make sure that we got four real quick. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why I'm counting 8, but on paper I count 8, but in here I count 9. So
Sorry.
we got 9 people. So
Okay.
we're good. So I just want to make sure that I'll be back. Say we have 4.
Yeah.
All right. So good morning, TDCB. Let me go ahead and share the screen. And then I'm gonna go ahead and share. Yeah, there you go. That's. All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Wally Lart, TPO staff. As Councilman Schisler said, my action item today is the election of officers, attendance review, and declaration of vacancies. So let's go ahead and adjust the election of officers. We have 2 current seats open. Commissioner Myers is the chair. So she's appointed by the TPO board and she was reappointed. The vice chair currently is Councilman Schisler. So his seat is up for election. And I'm going to give Councilman Schisler the opportunity. Councilman Schisler, do you want to be?
Yes, I'm sir.
Perfect. So, is there a second? Is there a second for Councilman Schisler? Perfect. So let's go ahead and vote. Let's move the motion for the election of Councilman Schisler as vice chair.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
There you go. Glenn Brown, who was the officer at large, he retired back in December, so his seat is vacant. Officer at large is pretty much the third in command, so if the worst case scenario would count, Commissioner Myers and Councilman Schisler are unable to attend, the officer at large would be the one that would delegate and oversee the meeting. So who here would want that position? That is the question.
Anybody afflictions there? I thought I saw.
I was just twitching. Don't be scared. I mean, I don't recall.
It's never happened.
You're always here.
Yeah,
Commissioner Myers makes it when she's able to.
Your side here doesn't happen.
someone be brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we see some. Right. So I don't know. You guys gotta make a motion.
Make a motion that Christina Melling, be appointed as the officer at large.
I second.
Congratulations, Christina. Awesome. All right, so over here, I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more clear for you all. So right now, what's on the screen is just the attendance review. I'm gonna go over it real quick for y'all. The purple with the E means the absence is excused. The Y means they were in person. The red N means they were absent and did not provide an excuse. And then the E, as I mentioned, yeah, and then, so. And then the V for the blue ones means the seat has been vacant. So. Right now, we have two members who have missed 3 consecutive meetings without providing an excuse. So therefore, theoretically, we can declare those seats vacant. My responsibility as the TD liaison is to reach out to them. I've reached out to them prior to the meeting. I will reach out to them after this meeting to remind them. And if I don't hear back from them, then we will declare those seats completely vacant, and then we will have to replace those. Currently, the ones that are vacant, that are in danger of being declared vacant are the local for-profit transportation provider, as well as the citizen applicant user of the system, which was, we had not appointed somebody for that position. They have yet to show up to the AAT meeting since being appointed. So those are the 2 positions that are, might be declared vacant. But other than that, please remember to provide an excuse if you are unable to come in person. Also, you can attend the meeting virtually, and that will count as you attending a meeting. However, virtual attendance does not count towards quorum. And I think I'm missing something, but please let us know if you cannot make it. And if you cannot make the person, please attend virtually so that you don't get an absence. And in the case that you don't have an alternate, please appoint someone as an alternate. We'd love to appoint anybody as an alternate. Form's super important for us. So that is all. That's my presentation, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Just to reinforce that, we as a group are here to support your clients, your organizations. If you're not here, you're not at the table, you can't share what you need, and we can't help fix whatever you should need. We as the agencies that are working, be it hard or county or whatever. So I've harped on this before, retired here, can't fix what we don't know. If you're not here, we can't help you. So, thank you, Wally.
And that is it for my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Next one, and thank you, Christine, we appreciate your volunteering to do something. Next is the TDCB annual bylaws review.
Yeah, so that's me again. Hello, everyone, all the RTPO staff. So as required by the Florida Commission for Transportation Disadvantage, we have to review annually the TD bylaws, and we have to review them and we adopt them annually as part of the TD grant. So as I mentioned, the TDCB we are the designated local coordinating board for the TPO, and we serve as a subcommittee for the Hillsborough TPO. So what the bylaws do, they help establish a formal process for the TDCB activities that include membership, staff, board duties, subcommittees, and communication with other organizations. The LCB TDCB bylaws are incorporated and found in section 4.2.9 of the bylaws of the Hillsborough County TPO and its committees. Those bylaws were included in the agenda packets that were sent out. In October of last year, 2025, we, as the TDCB, voted to reduce its in-person member quorum from 10 to 9. So that is the major change that we implemented. But the entirety of the recently amended TPO bylaws, as I mentioned, are in the meeting document. So if you want to review those. So the recommended action for today is to reapprove the TD bylaws And that is it, but I'm open to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for all? If there be none, because I'm sure, I assume everybody's had an opportunity to read and digest them. So unless there's any questions, let's entertain a motion to approve the amended bylaws for the coming calendar year.
Craig Purcell, I make a motion to be approved.
Motion, second.
Second, Jennifer Walker.
The motion is second. Any questions, discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Very good, it passes. TDCB annual grievance procedures subcommittee review.
Again, everyone, Wally, this is just another formality that we have to do as part of the TD grant. We have to have a TDCB grievance subcommittee. So the members are appointed by the chair of the TDCB and shall be composed of 5 voting members. The members of the grievance, actually, I went ahead. So, all right, so what is the grievance subcommittee? It was created by the Hillsborough County Transportation Disadvantage Board, and its goal is to develop rules and procedures to ensure quality control of the TD coordinated system and to provide participating users, funding agencies, and transportation providers with an impartial body to hear complaints and make recommendations on disputes concerning services rendered. The subcommittee, as I just said, is appointed by the chair of TDCB and can be composed of 5 voting members. Members of the grievance subcommittee shall serve a 2-year term, and this grievance subcommittee consists of 5 voting TDCB members. Member of the grievance subcommittee may be removed from office by the chairman of the TDCB. The vacancies in the membership of the subcommittee shall be filled in the same manner as the original appointments. A quorum of 3 voting members shall be present for any official action. In the event of a tie vote, the chairperson shall then have to decide the vote. Meetings shall be held at such times as the grievance subcommittee may determine. No voting member will have a vote on an issue that is deemed a conflict of interest. So the grievance subcommittee is, again, another formality. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, but since I've been the team board liaison, we have never had to do, right, any issues with the subcommittee. We never had to, have a meeting for that. Hart and Sunshine Line do a great job of resolving any issues that may arise from, services. But it is something that we need to have in case there is an issue that does arise. That does arise. So John Vargas, Jennifer Waskovich, and Marcella Menchik, who's no longer, Marcella's no longer, have all reached the end of their term. So I will ask, I know John just joined us online, and then I know Jennifer's here. I will ask you first if you two would like to be reappointed. Phone. And then
I'll be great for that one.
you got it, cool. And then, and then Jennifer, you are, Jennifer's on it. And then, so, okay, cool. Jennifer has been reelected. Craig, you want to be on it. And then, John, are you still okay with being on it?
That's in my middle name.
No, John's online. I'm trying to.
Because I use my middle name, that causes all kinds of confusion.
John, you still there?
Well, I will reach out to John where I can put in the chat. If John would like to be. I'll put that and then, excuse me. So we have Jennifer, Craig, and then John. And then Christina, you were the only one that is still a member. So you're still within your term. Just to let you know. So we do have 4, and then the tying vote would be the TD chair, which is Commissioner Myers, in the case we were ever to be voted. Okay. So anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much. Last year, we missed the deadline. I can't remember when it was.
It was the TDSB.
But, July.
Yeah, but we're gonna bring that in. So, but that's, I think the last, item for the TD grant.
Going back to attendance policies, we only meet every other month. And in July, we missed a vote because we didn't have the quorum. And it cost the commission or cost the TPO money because it missed out on the grant. And it cost, they're doing the county, saying, oops. Anyway, we don't like to do that. It makes us look bad. So that's why it's important to give the meetings as much as possible. If you're not, it's certainly notice. Okay, enough of that. Item number D is a memorandum of agreement for Hillsborough County. Ms. Karen's we're recognized.
Good morning. I think as you're all aware, we're in the process of redesignating the community transportation coordinator, which currently is Hillsborough County. In October, this board recommended that Hillsborough County continue as the CTC. But as part of that process, the county needs to enter into a new memorandum of agreement with the state, with the Commission for the Transportation Disadvantaged. And the agreement itself is attached in your agenda. Part of the approval and execution of that agreement is that this board has to sign off that they've reviewed and approved the contract. So it's just a requirement for that agreement. So we just need approval of this board of the agreement so that we can then send it to the board and back to the state.
Okay, anybody have any questions? That we have a motion to approve the MOA for the Hillsborough County.
Motion to approve that passage.
Craig, second.
We have a motion second, discussion of the motion. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Karen. Okay, next we have our status reports. I know I've heard this at least. You gotta be saying this in your sleep. The 2027 to 2036 transit development plan major update. Jesus Marisa Garcia, our stand is recognized. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, thank you. Morning TDCB, my name is Professor Garcia, Hart staff. I will provide an introduction to the 2027 major update of the Transit Development Plan, or TDP. As Councilmember Chisholm said, this is the second time you'll hear this presentation, and you'll hear it for the third time on Monday morning. So thank you for bearing with that.
Bring forward.
Chris also got a sneak peek at his presentation yesterday, so thanks for bearing with us. For the rest of you, my first timers, you're in for a treat. So let's do this. So what in the world is the Transit Development Plan? The TDP is a multi-year financial and operating plan for a transit agency. FDOT requires public transit providers receiving state funding to develop and adopt a CDP. Major updates are required every 5 years, with annual updates required during intermediate years. The major update we're working on right now is due in March of 2027, so a year from now. Aside from being a requirement, a TDP is an opportunity for HART to work on our vision for transit service over the next 10 years. It is our opportunity to think big, identify community needs, what projects are needed to address those needs, and how do we prioritize those projects. So here's a scoop of letters that you might have seen before. So how do all these acronyms come together? You've been hearing about the COI over the past year. It involves short-term improvements, no new funding is assumed. It sets the foundation for the TDP we're working on right now. But the TDP goes beyond that, laying out a 10-year vision that will guide HART on how and where to grow. The TDP includes unfunded needs. So, for example, if new funding became available, what projects will be spent on and how should we prioritize those projects, resulting in a tangible list of transit needs over the next decade. And last but not least, there's the Long Range Transportation Plan, or LRTP, that's put together by the Hillsborough TPO. TDP is the first 10 years of the transit component of the LRTP, and the LRTP goes beyond that, using a 35-year horizon. So those are the required components of a TDP. First, there needs to be a public involvement process that includes a plan explaining which activities will be conducted to gather public feedback on needs and solutions. I'll talk more about the public involvement in a second. Coordination with the local MPO is paramount. partially because of how the CDP and the LRTP come together. Part of the Hillsborough TPO already do a pretty good job at coordinating. As part of the operating context evaluation, we will conduct a review of other local planning documents to understand what they have laid out over the next 10+ years to make sure we're all in sync. The land use and corridor development section looks at elements like density and development to help identify where in the county is transit the most needed and which areas are more ready for transit service. And lastly, the main piece of the transit development plan is the 10-year operating capital program, which involves identifying and prioritizing projects, as well as estimating costs and ridership and developing a financial plan. So here's the main purpose of me being here today. We will be starting the public involvement step of the TDP on March. We're actually launching on Monday, March 2nd. We will have a survey available online on a unique webpage, hardvisionplan.com, which will ask people to rank their needs in different categories, such as frequency increases, new routes, different types of service, and overall improvements to the rider experience. These feedback that we will receive will help us create that list of priorities for transit needs that I mentioned earlier. We will also be hosting 10 different vision workshops across the county to dive deeper into the priorities that have brainstorms about ideas for the future, and those are mapped out. We've already booked the venues. Additionally, we will be at our transit and transfer centers to inform with staff and to inform people about the survey and to answer any questions they might have about this process. Throughout the year, we will have other involvement activities taking place. We will be doing in-depth one-on-one interviews with key stakeholders and community leaders. We will have a review committee made up of transportation stakeholders that meets routinely. Chris is part of the committee. And we will be regularly getting feedback from hard employees as well with internal workshop. For the TDCB, we invite you all to fill out the survey and inform your constituents and networks about this opportunity. And you're also welcome to attend any of the workshops. So please spread the word far and wide. We want your constituents and your networks to be engaged. And finally, a special thanks to the TPO for their support to execute all of this outreach and marketing by providing us with their consulting. Okay, here's the timeline and next steps. In January, we selected WSP as our consultant to develop the TDP to build on the work they did with the COA. The outreach effort will take place in March, as I mentioned, kicking off on Monday. In parallel with the outreach, we're presenting the intro to the TDP to the TPO board and commission committees. Then we'll be back with the TPO board and committees in August to provide an update on what we heard during the outreach. The TDP will go to the hard board for approval in November. And then submission to FDOT by March. And lastly, the final TDP will be presented to the TPO board and committees in January of this year as an informational item. The TDCB doesn't meet in January, so you guys will get it in December. So you get first dibs. With that, I thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Susan. Are there any questions or comments regarding the presentation? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, next item is the Sunshine Line update. Jerry Stickney,
Good morning, everyone. Jerry Stickney, Director for Sunshine Line. Have the handout here that Jim is going around. So to kick off January, the last few months with holidays and service stations, a little bit dip in our trips, which happen every year. But you'll see in January the line coming back up. We have about 9,200 trips for January. At a 97.4% on-time performance. Our bus trips are up around 60,000. Call center, 7,000 calls. And, we went through a little bit of a patch with hiring vacancies in our call center and readjusting a few things. So happy to report we're fully staffed in our call center now. Our hold time is down to 49 seconds, 95.9% answer rate. So back up to those stats that we prefer to be providing for our clients. Staffing across the board for our operators, we're at 91% staffing right now. We're just wrapped up new hire training. They're hitting the road this week. And then we also are onboarding right now for March 20th, I believe, or 23rd is the start date for 5 additional operators, which should put us to 100%. You recall, I think last meeting, I told you 2 meetings ago, I think we were at 100%, but that was only for 2 days since someone was retiring. So I think we've learned it's an ebb and flow and just, and that's that goal, right? Staying around 90% overall with staffing, trying to get average 95% capacity with all of our staffing. So we're hitting there. We've hit close with that 91%, but we've got that in motion. Some of the technology that we've been working on for the last few years, happy to finally give some additional positive updates. We did launch that new software in February last year, which is going really well, which is a testament to some of the higher outcome performance and other routing efficiencies. But our online application is live and functioning. Our reps and our coordinators are working through those. Once that was live online, our clients started using it immediately. We worked out a few kinks, little things here and there, but all of our clients still have the option to do the paper application and mail it if they want. But now they have the option to go online and upload documents. So it's really neat that we're able to get that up. It's live on the website as well. People can be referenced to. And then our mobile application from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store is live. It's been tested. And as of yesterday, our county website went live with the link to download everything with instructions on how it works. On the back of your sheet, there's some screenshots of the mobile app you can find on the Play Store and App Store. Kind of look at what it looks like and a full FAQ for our clients and how to use it, how to book trips. Our reps and everything that they trained, and we're going to do an official push out with all of our clients, let them know and remind them the app is here. You can download it. We'll be starting that next week. So we're excited to see that roll out. With that application, clients who are TD clients, they'll be able to book trips, cancel trips. They'll be able to see the history of their trips, what they have coming up. When they're the next person to be picked up, they'll be able to track their bus live. So that they will see where it's coming. So that's going to reduce phone calls to the call center, to our dispatch office, where's the bus, some of those things. And the text message feature that we optioned in back in, I believe it was June. And that has, in May, that cut down on some of those calls too. So people love the text message feature. They're going to have a mobile application that they can use. And for those clients that don't receive TD clients, we have some healthcare clients and some others that don't receive TD funding or ARPA funding in different pieces. They can still use the mobile app, but they won't be able to book trips. But they'll be able to see their trips and things of that nature. Just the app doesn't have the way the interface between which funding source is which for what trips. So make it easy. We just did all TD funding, which is the majority of our classes as well. But everyone gets a piece of using that app. We also, with our had a spike in some denials with some of the increase in trips a while back. And we've been piloting doing 14 days in advance for scheduling medical trips. And then our regular trips within those 7 days as normal. And first month we saw 24% reduction. We've seen now on the next month a 56% reduction in denials. And we're going to adopt that moving forward as well. And what's really neat about that is, I think last month we had 84. We don't, obviously 0 denials is obviously the best option. That's not always the case. We had 84 denials out of over 10,000 trips, 9,200. So the percentage is very low. But with that, getting medical trips being able to be booked prior, those recreational trips, those other non-essential trips that can be adjusted for time, get to fit amongst and in between all of those. So it's working really well, and every month we're seeing a reduction in those denials and things of that nature. So happy to see that rolling forward. Our other goal, looking at fuel efficient vehicles, smaller vehicles, better ride comfort. We've had our 3 EVs in, our transits. I'm excited to know we have 15 of our cutaways, the Inderas with the new Cube Straight ones, the updated spring, all the fancy new 2025 vehicles are out. We had 16 on order that we did last year. They're all built. We have 3 with our vendor here local for final inspections. The other are up at the state with final inspections with the trips contract with the state. So we'll be seeing the rest of those 16 rolling in. And I'm very happy to say we only have 9 vehicles left from the hiatus of COVID and the contract's being down, so that's still a year and a half plus out from completion, but back to that point, it's very exciting for us to be able to get there. And then a couple other things we've been working on through the past few months, cold weather shelters. We're part of the evacuation working group, and we serve as the lead for Hillsborough County with our partners with HARP, School Board, AMR, AmeriCare, and that's hurricane season, but it's also cold weather season. Last year, we had an unprecedented 11 or 12 activations, which we thought was crazy. We had 23 this year, which is very unprecedented. And there was over 9,600 beds that were given and served between that time frame of people who wouldn't have access to heat and homes. That's not just those that are unhoused, it's those that don't have adequate heat in their homes. So we were able to support that. And I want to give a big shout out to the school board. They stepped up and helped with overflow from in the evenings from downtown to Plant City for an overflow shelter. And they stepped up and were able to do that. So big kudos to the school board for helping with that and just continue to work with the evacuation working group. HARP was involved on some of that as well. And so it's other things that we are doing besides our normal TV stuff that we're happy to do, but it was a very busy season, and I hope the cold spell we had earlier this week is the last one. So I'm ready for some summer weather. And then last thing I want to let y'all know, we have the county's hosting a neighborhood expo. It is the theme of Love Our Neighborhoods. It is tomorrow. It's going to be at the feeding camp of Bayside off of Causeway from 9 a.m. to noon. There's going to be over 40 different departments on site. We'll be there. We'll have one of our vehicles out there. Public Works, they're going to bring their big vehicles and all the fun stuff. So come in. There'll be free stuff. There's going to be food. There's going to be fun. Learn a little about departments and all that the county has to offer. So that's tomorrow. So just wanted to send it out, and it's free, of course. And that's all I have. If there's any questions.
Any questions from here?
I got a couple, of course. Someone who is unwilling, unable to deal with all of the technology, they can still obviously call.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll never go away. They'll always have the option to call and
I mean, it's nice to make it easier and easier, but sometimes,
yes, there will always have that option. And even with the mobile app, if you try to book a trip and it's outside of the hours and parameters, you're told to call in. Same way if it doesn't fit on a route, they're told to call and the reps can help maneuver and figure out how we can figure out to get it booked.
yeah, that's pretty much my second question. You're talking about if there's, important trips, the medical trips, whatever, then you try and fit the other ones among them. So those people get contacted when their potential appointment or reservation is not going to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's threads, communication, email, and also notices for the app. So absolutely, they're all contacted and followed through. And we've had to make sure all that happens. There's actually a communication flow that our reps follow, and our dispatch office where they contact and they copy our managers on all of them, and they follow up each day to make sure things were closed before the end of the day. So
Well, we're very happy to have you here being so happy about all your reports.
Any questions?
I just wanted to pass along, a compliment for you and your team. Implementing some modernization. I understand where Craig's coming from. It's not for everybody, but it really can add to efficiencies and customer service. And it's really great to see it's off and live.
yeah, thank you. I want to give a big shout out to Karen. She's been leading the way on a lot of this, and it's been fun. The only word I'll use, but just big kudos to Karen for staying on top of it. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have one. Where in the county will charge this sunshine?
So Sunshine, the organization chart, we are under the human services section. So Carl Harness, the chief human services administrator, he's my boss. And he reports directly to Bonnie Watts, our county administrator. So we're in that human services section. In that group of people, we have healthcare services, aging services, social services, children's services, Head Start, and homeless community services.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Art Plus update. Charlotte. I see you sitting back there. How you doing?
Good. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to you guys.
Is there sneak out of here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Again, good morning, everyone. My name is Sherna Wilburn, and I'm the manager of paratransit services at Heart. Thank you for the opportunity to provide our update focusing on January 2026 of our Heart Plus performance. I will briefly go over ridership trends, on-time performance, our trip efficiencies, cancellation, no-shows, and application activity. So the first slide represents our trip growth and volume. So as we see for January of 2026, Heart, we completed 16,908 trips. In our partnership with Yellow Cab, they completed 8,071 trips. This is a combined total of 24,979 trips in 1 month, which is a 2% growth year-over-year ridership for the Heart Plus services. All right, our on-time performance for January, for our scheduled trips. So on Heart Plus services, our customers are able to schedule by just schedule, I need to be picked up by a certain time, or I have an appointment and my appointment time is this. So for the schedule, our OTP was at 83%. And our appointment-based trips were at 89%. The 89% appointment performance is especially important because these trips often involve our medical and more time-sensitive trips. We continue monitoring our performance daily, weekly, and monthly to ensure reliability remains consistent for the customers in the community that we support. This slide represents trip duration. This pretty much just shows the amount of time that each trip that we service may take on our service. As you can see, 38% of all our trips were completed in 15 minutes or less. That means more than 1/3 of our riders experience very short times. And as trip density increases, routing becomes more complex, but we remain focused on balancing efficiency with customer comfort and ADA compliance. All right, so now we move on to our cancellations and no-shows. So for January, we experienced 5,101 cancellations, which is, these are when customers schedule trips and for whatever odd reason, they may have to cancel their trips in advance. So that is what our canceled trip represents. Our no-show trips are, for January, were 744. These were trips where the customer may have forgotten to cancel their trips and the vehicle still showed up at their residence or at their, wherever they were for a pickup and they were not available for that ride. All right, so this slide just represents our different trip types. Like I said, we can schedule by schedule times I need to be picked up from home or wherever at a certain time, and our appointment times. So this just represents that information. And as you can see, for January, we were at 16,908 trips. Or and then for the appointments, we had 6,559 trips. All right, and so for our application volume, these are new folks coming to the area, either wanting transportation and putting in applications. And we have our recertifications, which are folks that are already on the service and just need to recertify. So for the month of January, we received 149 new applications and we had 48 research. So that's a total of 197 total eligibility determinations in 1 month. Application volume is a leading indicator of continued future ridership growth. Here at heart, our purpose will always remain on safe operations, reliable service, efficient performance, and compassionate customer care. Also, one other thing I wanted to add, I think it was at the last meeting, we did bring in, that we were getting our SUVs, new SUVs to help accommodate some of our trip volume out there. I'm proud to say that right now we're in the final testing stages, making sure all the equipment and all of our, everything is working inside the vehicle. So possibly within the next month, these vehicles will be out on the road to service the community. Thank you for your continued support, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Of course, I do. I forgot, how long is the no-show wait time?
5 minutes. We
Okay.
give each customer 5
Makes
minutes.
sense. And recertification happens how often?
Well, the certification process, they can, depending on the level of their disability, it could be up to 1 year, up to 5 years.
And they're notified in advance, so.
Yes, they are notified in
Fine,
advance.
thank you.
Any questions? There's the sheriff's report, the new buses and that's coming out. Good, it's been this sunshine by the new colors. You know, like, it's a lot better. Watch it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, old business and new business, don't forget the TDCB member interest form. And the next meeting will be on the ninth. Oh,
I got some more new business.
okay,
So like Jerry said, tomorrow's Labor Day, so I will also be there representing the TPO with some staff here, so come by and say hi to us, great stuff, looking forward to it. I want to give a shout out to Brett and Takara who are joining us for the first time we gave a super persons with disabilities, so welcome, it's your first team meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we had some staff changing over at FDOT, so Chris Leffert for the time being will be the TD rep on, for the, he will be the FDOT rep on TD, so everyone say hi, Chris, hey Chris. We've had, some issues relating to sunshine law, when it comes to TPO board committees. So I want to go ahead and just give you guys a brief overview, just so that you are reminded of sunshine law, that being on the TD board, TDCB, we are subject to sunshine law. So that means, if there can't be any private discussions on, agenda materials, so that means if 2 or more committee members talk about a vote or a project or anything or recommendation, those conversations must occur in public. So we can't have any private conversations, whether it's over text, email, the phone, at lunch, or in the parking lot, or even in the elevator, you know. So we have to be very careful about that. So I just want to make sure that you are all reminded of that. As I just mentioned before, Michelle was the FDOT rep. She resigned recently, and she was on the TDSP subcommittee. So that's the Transportation Disability Service Plan. That is our next major project. We're in the process of 2 updates. So we have the annual update that we do that doesn't require TDSP subcommittee, but the major update does require one. Christina is on the TDSP. We voted on it, I think, in December. So if anyone wants to join the TDSP subcommittee, it's just a minor role, but we want TD board members to be on it. So if you're interested, you don't necessarily vote on it. They can just say, does anyone want to be on it to replace Michelle?
I'll fill in for Michelle.
All right, perfect. So Chris will join. Thank you, Chris. On that, we've selected a consultant, so we're in the process of getting that project kicked off. That's gonna be super exciting. We selected Dinesh and Sarah Goolsby. She's supported with the TD board before on some projects, so she's super helpful. So really excited about that. CDC recommended designation process is almost completed. thank you guys for showing up today. We really need that, memorandum to be improved. So I think we're pretty much all set. All we have to do is present in front of, for the CTV. So I have to present, so on behalf of Jerry and Karen, so that's what's the next step for us. And then, the TD annual public workshop is usually done in April, but we're gonna move into June. I usually do a presentation and it's done as a separate meeting from a regular TD meeting. So this year, my goal is to have us, either all of us or some of us share a little bit about our organization and how our work relates to the TD program. And, Jerry, I would love to have like a sunshine line van, Park Plus bus or van there. Maybe kind of like invite people from your agencies to join us online or in person. That's kind of what I want. I want it to be more of a TD promotional day, let people know about the Transportation Disadvantage Program for Hillsborough County. So that's the last Friday of June. I'll give you guys a date, but once you all, having that on your minds, on your radars, and then open that up. If you guys have any ideas on how to run a successful public workshop, June something. Or is up for discussion? We'll go.
Charlotte, who you spoken to at Hartford?
I usually talk to Jesus, but I can talk to Sharon about that. You can have something cool, have a bus out, let's look at it. If I don't have any volunteers for a presentation, I might just, call you guys out and see if you guys can present something at the TD public workshop. But that's really all the announcements I have.
Very good. Welcome to the new business. Okay, the next meeting is April 24th. There's none who, any other business, here to be done, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, everybody.